That's quite an echo.
So, like, now how it is function? Is it like that? That is the echo sound coming out?
Ready?
Yes, Rose.
Okay.
Okay, Rose, the recording has started, so go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your patience, and welcome to the monthly webinar series for CA Harvest Software Change Manager. This month, we are featuring a topic called Installation and Upgrade Considerations, and I'm happy to introduce one of our Harvest engineers, Swapna, who will be presenting this topic to you today. Go ahead, Swapna.
Yeah. Hello all. Today I would like to present CA Harvest Software Change Manager Installation and Upgrade Considerations in this session. The agenda of this session is The agenda of this session is to provide more details about Windows installation and upgrade considerations and troubleshooting techniques. The main agenda is to provide recommendations or best practices to simplify installation and upgrade process. First, I would like to mention about types of installations available to install CA Harvest SCM components. So first, I would like to discuss about typical and custom installation options. The users who want to use default options, they can go with typical installation type, and for the users who want to use custom options, like if they want to install specific components or if they want to install in specific directory, they can choose custom installation type. CA Harvest SCM also provides silent installation for agent and client components. To install those components silently, please refer to the steps mentioned in the implementation guide. And to configure broker or agent as a service in your Windows machine, please enable the checkbox at the time of installing your server or agent. And after successful installation of server or agent, you'll be able to see agent or broker as a service in your Windows machine. And if you install agent using silent installation mode, make sure you add port number in hagent.arg file in your SCM phone. So once you enable all the settings, you can directly start a start from Windows Services Manager. And next, I would like to mention about supported platforms and database. To know more about supported operating systems, database, hardware web interface, and LDAP servers, you can refer to release notes or mention the DocOps platform link. The supported operating systems include Windows, Red Hat and SUSE, AX, Solaris, Linux, etc. And database include Oracle 11g, Oracle 12c, SQL Server 2008 R2 or 2008, 2012, 2014, etc. And web interface includes Apache Tomcat, JBoss, Oracle Sunman, and WebSphere. And LDAP servers include like Novell or Active Directory. To know more about version details, you can please refer to the release notes. And next, I would like to talk about R7001 upgrade. So until R12.6 release, user can upgrade the server and then he can upgrade database. Please follow the instructions mentioned in the link to upgrade from previous release to R7.1. Since Microsoft has got support for Windows 2K3, customers who is using R7.1 on Windows 2K3 platform, they can only upgrade the database. They cannot upgrade components to V13. Component upgrades to V13 is not supported on Windows 2K3 platform. And coming to upgrading components to V13, Like upgrade from older release to V13 is same as in previous releases. So please follow the instructions mentioned under upgrade of Windows section in implementation guide, or please follow the mentioned link to upgrade your components on Windows to V13. Next, I would like to discuss about upgrading components running in 32-bit mode to 64-bit mode. Are you able to follow me?
Yes.
Yeah. To do this, uninstall your Windows 32 earlier release components, then install latest release 64-bit components, and if you are using Oracle or SQL Server 64-bit for your older release server, then you can directly upgrade your database using HTTP setup URL. In case if you are using Oracle or SQL Server 32-bit, you need to migrate your database to 64-bit release, and then you can proceed with HTTP setup URL to upgrade your database to the latest release. And next I would like to discuss about a non-Windows platform category, like to install CA Harvest SCM server in non-Windows, make sure you are using proper Oracle host. So if you are using SCM server of 32-bit, make sure you are using Oracle host of Oracle 32-bit client or server. You can use 64-bit Oracle server, but make sure you are using Oracle 32-bit client to connect to your 32-bit SCM server. And if you are using SCM server is running in 64-bit mode, you need to set Oracle home of 64-bit Oracle server or 64-bit Oracle client. And sometimes, like after installing, when you are performing HTTP setup CO, you may end up with some failures like Oracle home related errors. This is because of lack of permissions in your Oracle home lib folder to connect your ODBC to your Oracle server. So make sure others have execute permission for lib folder in Oracle home. Also, make sure others have read and execute permissions enabled for libcln tsh file which exists in lib folder of Oracle home. Are you able to follow me? Any questions so far?
Yes, we're able to follow you. You're doing well. Thank you.
Yeah. And coming to prerequisite libraries for non-Windows, like to install CAPK, you need libstd++.so library in your non-Windows machine. And sometimes when you are installing CA Harvest SCM components, if you get any issues with OS-specific libraries, make sure particular OS libraries installed in your non-Windows machine. Here I would like to quote examples for Linux platform. So make sure PAM, GDC, libstd, C++, etc. libraries or RPMs installed in your non-Windows machine. So these RPMs will get installed along with your OS installation. These are not additional RPMs required for SCM. These are like RPMs which comes as default in OS. And the packages or RPMs which provide these libraries may vary for one operating system to other. And in V13, Linux and Mac 64-bit are supported. To upgrade Linux 32-bit older release to latest 64-bit release on V13, you need to install V13 Tech CAPK ODBC components, and then you need to upgrade server by following steps mentioned in implementation guide. And if you are using 32-bit Oracle for your older release in Linux, then you need to migrate your Oracle to 64-bit, and then you need to perform HTTP setup URL. And in case if you are using 64-bit Oracle for your older release of Linux, you can directly perform HTTP setup UI. And to upgrade older release to V13, upgrade from earlier release to V13 is same as in previous release. So please follow instructions mentioned under upgrade on Unix, Linux and Linux section in implementation guide, or you can also follow the mentioned link to upgrade your older release to V13. And there is a change in installation of ODBC in non-Windows platform. Please refer to the section Install Data Direct ODBC section in implementation guide. Yeah, I just saw one question. Does this version support Oracle 12c? Rose, I got one question if V13 is supported on V13, Oracle 12c is supported for V13. So you can SCM server can be used with Oracle 12c. And next, I would like to discuss about prerequisites of web interface of Harvest, that is Harvest. To install Harvest, you need to install web application server in your machine and install CA client, and make sure your supported web browser is installed on client from where you want to access to that Harvest. And verify supported release of Java installed on your machine where you are installing Harvest. And make sure you have set system variables on your application server. And also, if you plan to use web interface for SQL Server database, then you must use SQL Server authentication mode. And next, I would like to discuss about Harvest mobile interface. SCM support for package approval from mobile interface, and the supported OS includes iOS and Android. And supported application servers are Apache Tomcat, JBoss, and WebSphere. To know more about prerequisites, deployment, and configuration details, please refer to Administrator Guide, or you can also refer the mentioned link, Docops link. Now I'm discussing about backward compatibility. I would like to know, am I clear? So far, am I clear? Are you following me?
Yes, Wapner, we're following. Continue and keep up the good work, speaking slowly. Thank you.
And backward compatibility, Harvest server is backward compatible with Harvest clients that are at the same level. For example, if you are using R12.6 Workbench, you can connect to V13 server, but from the same Workbench, you cannot connect to R12.5 agent. Make sure both your Workbench or administrator and agent running at same level to connect to highest release. And next, I would like to discuss about troubleshooting techniques. So after installing your CA Harvest SCM components, you are performing HTTP setup. So at the time of execution of HTTP setup, if you find any difficulties or if you find any issues, please share HTTP setup log, update schema log, LT and LF log from log folder in CA Harvest SCM server and share with CA support. Also, at the time of any process execution, if you find any failures, stop the broker, set login level to 5 in headserver.arg, and set min and minimum and maximum server as 1 in hbroker.arg, and then restart the broker, execute your transactions, and share headserver log from log folder in SCM server home. To avoid the difficulty of restarting the broker and setting up or changing the ARG files, there is one command called hdpgctrl, which helps you to set login level at runtime. you no need to restart the broker. You can directly run the command, and you can set logging level for all head servers or to specific client, or you can also set logging level for particular transaction. To know more about this command, you can refer to reference guide or mention the docx link. Or you can also refer to the community page, link mentioned in this page. And after installing your SCM components and configuring your database, if you find any difficulty in starting the broker, like cannot start broker error, verify the privileges you have on the computer on which you are trying to start the broker. Check if the broker is already running, or verify if the required port is available for usage or not. Yeah, and if you face any errors related to cannot start head server, then please check the below things, like make sure your Oracle listener is up and running, and check if the maximum number of servers has already been started in your machine, or make sure your database version matches the server. Like you have upgraded your SCM release from older release to the latest one, but you forgot to upgrade the database. In this case, like you may end up with this error. And if you started the broker and from any client like Workbench or administrator, if you are getting error like username or password or broker error, make sure you are entering proper username or password, and make sure you are entering correct broker in the broker name field in the login dialog, and also make sure you are giving proper hostname, like the hostname which is same as mentioned in the broker process where it was started, like this applicable for Unix computer. And also check the network connectivity from the client machine to the server machine. Try to ping from client machine to the server machine, then you can able to check that one. And when you face difficulty in connecting to agent, like connection timeout error when connecting to an agent on a remote computer, please check the below things, like check if your agent is up and running, and verify the basic network connectivity, like try to ping from broker machine to agent and agent machine to broker, and verify you're giving proper computer name. And also, as I mentioned in the backward compatibility, like make sure your Workbench or administrator is at same level where is as your SCM agent. As an example, like you are using R1206 Workbench, but you are trying to connect. If you are using R1206 Workbench and you are trying to connect R1205 agent, then it won't work. Make sure both are at same level. And the last one is like when you are executing any process like promote or anything, if you find any error like message key not found, then make sure your CA home is correctly set or not. And also verify henglish.message is present in CA home. With this, I am done with my session. I would like to answer any questions.
Thank you, Swapna. So Len, we're opening up the Q&A at this point, and we want our customers to enter them through the Q&A area within WebEx, correct?
Yes, yes. Thanks, everybody. If you do not see a Q&A box in the lower right of the screen, there's a question mark icon in the upper right of your screen. If you click that, the box will open. The questions can come in there, and then we'll read them out loud so that everyone on the call can benefit from hearing them, and then we'll also answer them verbally. So far, there aren't any questions. There was one question earlier, whether or not this presentation will be shared in the community. The answer is yes, it will. Once we get the replay ready to post, I'll be doing a blog post out in the community that will include the video replay as well as the presentation. So far, there aren't any other questions.
Okay, I just want to make a couple points here. One is that, just to reiterate, that Harvest version 13 incremental 0, the base incremental, is officially GA. We went GA late in March. I recommend that if you're interested in learning about our incremental delivery, that you watch our video located at the community, at the Harvest community under the videos content, or you go to ca.com/harvest and click on the video link that you'll find there. It's very important that you understand the concept behind our incremental delivery. We are moving forward with agile delivery with Harvest. We're very excited about our V13 release. We've also opened the validation program for V13. I know many of you on the call are participating in our validation program. If any of you on the call are not and are interested, please feel free to reach out to me, rose.sakach@ca.com, S-A-K-A-C-H. Let me see, what else? I also want to bring your attention to a point that Swapna brought up with backwards compatibility with V13. There was a slide that she showed that demonstrated the backwards compatibility with V13, and make sure that everybody is comfortable with that and understands that. Thanks, Swapna, you're going back to that. Because several of our customers I know would like the ability to stagger the upgrade and the implementation of Harvest. And I know the team has worked hard to be able to address that issue. There we go. So we do have the ability to upgrade the server while leaving your clients at a lower release level. And then finally, I know, Tanya, I know you had mentioned that it was very difficult for you to hear. What we can do is we'll post this to the community, but if the feedback is that it's difficult, then perhaps I can work with Swapna and do another recording.
Sure.
If there were a recording of this.
Yeah, I think that's a good way forward.
Okay, and any questions, Len?
I don't see any. Only some positive feedback. We have someone say, thank you all, good info, glad you touched the troubleshooting tips. Oh, here's a question. Hi, at this moment, I am finishing migration to R12.6. My question is, must I upgrade first to the incremental version?
So is the question, I'm assuming perhaps you're on 12.6 and you're interested in going to V13 base incremental, and if that's a correct assumption, then yes, we recommend that you upgrade to the V13 base incremental. However, you do not have to upgrade to V13 in order to participate in the validation program. As I was repeating the question, I wondered if that maybe was your point. So you can be a validation partner, you can join our validation program, you can participate in helping the team to develop V13, but you are not required to upgrade to V13.
Okay, yep, that answered the question.
Okay.
Okay, there's two other questions that came in on the chat. I believe slide 14 says that V13 is compatible with past versions of the agents. Does Workbench and Administrator backwards compatible?
I believe that's a yes. Swapna, can you confirm?
Rose, you would want to confirm the question. Administrator is a part of client. So administrator is also we can connect from 12.6 administrator to V13 server.
Okay. So the answer is yes. So the admin is part of the client, and it would reflect. I guess what we can do in essence is put the admin in the same box where we see client here.
Okay. And then there's a follow-up question, I think, to the question that you just asked, Rose. Would the same be true if you're at V12.5?
Okay, so
that combination is possible. We can connect from 12.5 client to V13 server.
Okay. Yes, the same combination is possible. You can connect from the 12.5 client to the V13 server.
And there is one more question. For upgrading from R12.5 to V13, we can upgrade from R12.5 to V13 directly.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat window here, which Swapna is trying to explain the question and answer the question.
Yes. Let's see. There's another one that came in via the chat. Does this version support Oracle 12c 12.1.0.2.0? Has the schema changed from the previous version?
I would like to take this question. So V13, we are certified Oracle 12c version 12.1.01 only. So 12.1.02 is not yet supported with the Harvest server. We found a problem with the date and the timestamp interface of the ODBC level of 12.1.02, and which requires further resolution. So it is certified only until 12.1.01 of Oracle 12c.
Okay, so we're not yet certified with that level of Oracle, but we will be working towards certifying at that level as we progress with our V13 incremental deliveries.
Okay, let's see. I think we answered this, but can you upgrade from 12.5 server directly to the 13 server?
Yeah, the answer is yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Swapna. I don't see any other questions. I guess if any questions come in after we wrap up, please feel free to ask them in the community. We'll make sure that we get you answers out there. Rose, anything else you want to cover before we wrap things up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, then I will thank everyone for their time this morning. And like Rose said, we're doing this as a series every month. So keep an eye out in the community for the new announcements and updates. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks, Len. Thanks, Swapna.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.